So with no further ado, please welcome my friend Lee Darling.
Okay. I think, is that good? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. And I, of course, forgot the one piece that I really wanted to bring with me, which tells me what I'm doing here. Okay. I am not I didn't train to be a writer, but I think we all have that capacity in us to write and be poetic and or some other artistic thing. I think everyone has some piece of that kind of stuff. So anyway, and as you heard from the bio, I was a computer programmer. I also didn't graduate in computer science, so I had a wide range of things that I took when I was in college. I was kind of bouncing all over. Anyway, a few years ago I moved to San Luis Obispo, California, and thinking that I needed to be closer to my sister's family. And while I was there, San Luis Obispo has, they appoint poets laureate, a poet laureate every couple years. And so this event that I went to in 2015 was called Poets Laureate. So this is what happened at the Poets Laureate. What do I expect of them, these aging poets who fumble with glasses, then shuffle pages in search of a poem they forgot to mark? Their only fault, a desire to include every favorite, every poem once called best, carried away with their own words. I leave after the third reader and hurry to the yogurt shop. I plunge into raspberry swirl, then gape, surprised by this old poet reflected in the shop window, spoon raised. So you all probably know that San Luis Obispo is pretty nice. Why did I come back to Oregon? Well, days like this, but here's part of the piece. Mackenzie River. She bubbles from Cascade Crest, careens through canyons, bounding down, down, cold and sweet and pure. I traveled the length of her uncounted times, memorized her every curve. I danced to her music while names of camp or trail or waterfall splashed through my head. Olali, Saheli, Paradise. For 50 years she flowed from my tap and I drank her straight. Then one rainy April I ran away, sought sun and sea, imagined I'd dissolved her hold on me. But there, 700 miles south, where lakes boiled dry and hillsides simmered in triple-digit heat, even there, especially there, the taste of her lingered on my tongue and lured me back.
Ow!
And so this one is just is a real recent one that I haven't passed by anyone, so it's you're the first people to hear it. Invisible connections seep through my internet. Fragile filaments shine in reflected light. Pop-up images face to face in virtual space. Mercurial memories, visions that vaporize faster than front page news. No keyboard required. www.spirit.org. And then, because I'm getting older, I had someone remind me that I'm just getting older, I'm not old. So, anyway, people are keeling over and leaving, and I'm having to say goodbye to a lot of people I didn't mean to have to say goodbye to. And in December, a couple of friends, a couple of people I've known for like 50 years passed unexpectedly. They were my age. So I wrote this after reading Dorcas Smucker. If you ever need a good column, it's in the Guard, one of her columns. This is called Love in the Age of Goodbye. I stumble against it, my age of goodbye, with diminished grip and unsteady gait. I stumble against fear of waking again or never. I stumble into days empty of youth, yet somehow filled with hope and wonder. I stumble on the story. 100-year-old man rises each morning, pens details of ordinary days, mails them off, sealed with love. And one of the people who passed in December, I went to her memorial in January, and her family discovered that she was a secret poet, had been writing poems for a long time when she couldn't sleep at night. And I just want to read this one. I just love it. Her name was Emma Lou Prophet. And this was written in 1990, February. And it's called Wind Says. Wind says, come go with me. Tree says, no, I must stay. Wind says, have fun, let's play. Tree says, no, I will stay, for soon you shall go on your way. And I shall be here tall and strong to give shelter to all that come. So take my branches if you must, but leave my roots in earthy dust. Tree says, wind be gone, for I am master of this fight today.
Yeah. Ow!
So that was for you, Lou. Okay, but we aren't all, I mean, getting old isn't the end of everything, okay? So this is called X-Rated. X-rated dreams surprise me, residuals of late-night TV, raunchy follow-up to salute for celebrities, gone now, yet preserved, young, reminding of juicy days when sex was a word whispered with giggles of ignorance and innocence, now stripped away, undressed, naked desire, hungry ache, stripped of shame. Probably reading really fast. So my poems are obviously personal, most of them, and I write about all kinds of things. Here's a few political things. And I do it mainly to just get it out of my head sometimes. Okay, this one's called Gun Shy. Stay calm and carry guns, spilled across his broad back, bright white on navy blue. Keep calm and carry on, twisted to what seemed a joke. I suppressed a chuckle. Then he turned. NRA printed small above his left breast. I blinked. His eyes glittered. He aimed a semi-smile at my way, licked his lips, prepared to duel. Gun shy, I holstered my wordy weapons and moseyed on. And then these two were written a year ago, and you all know what was going on a year ago, January and February. So one's called Magician. Without laying a single brick, he erected barriers north and south, infuriated friends, solidified enemies. No bridges for him, no diplomatic dance. A pat on the head for CEOs, a belly rub for union men, then aim his pen at some new target, divert attention with sleight of hand. He tweets alternative facts, ignores danger in that very media where brick or stone or wall will never hold. I would add, we hope it will never happen. And this is called Terrorist. He struts and poses, his pinched-faced scowl and jello-yellow wig laughable, except not. His overlong red tie flaps and slashes like a sickle against his white-shirted belly and black greatcoat. His baby-faced mouthpiece spews fake news, stonewalls objections to alternative facts, then departs mid-sentence when pressed. I wake each day terrified he will have shredded these United States. Keep up the work. Okay, and last fall, Laura, who's here, published this lovely book of poems by our group. Each of us has 3 poems in it. I have a couple of copies of the book if anybody wants to buy it. And I'm going to read one of mine. It's called Color Lines. From the beginning, I shared classrooms and lunch tables with Mary Ortiz, Carlotta Chacon, and Julie Perez. Considered them friends, though they lived across an invisible line from the rest of town. My family lived on the wrong side of a different line, one that split old from new and plenty from almost enough. I didn't think about those lines when Ronnie whirled us to third place in that dance contest. Ronnie Ramirez, tall, handsome, best dancer in our class. I was Cinderella and he was my prince. It took years to understand if his skin had matched mine, we would have won. It has taken decades to realize if my skin had matched his, we wouldn't have had a chance. Moonless night, littered with orange blossom stars. So I grew up in Southern California, and that was very true. And I didn't know until I was in high school that our town was a sundown town, which is really ironic because the town was Whittier, which is named for John Greenleaf Whittier, who was an abolitionist. So it was just so crazy that black people couldn't live in town until I was in high school when a man brought his family. He was going to be the director of the boys' school, the bad boys' school is what we called it, and he wanted to live where he could walk to work so his wife could drive the car during the day, have the car, and found that he could not buy a house in the town until they did change it. They changed it so that he could. But you know, it was like, I think everyone was surprised when we realized that that was the case, because it had been that way for as long as anyone could remember. But they had to change the rules, which was, so his children, three of his children were the first black students at Whittier High School, and one of them was in my class. But anyway, that's side note there. How am I on time?
Oh, you're fine.
Okay. Okay. Well, one of the things I like to do is I like to have fun with poetry, and maybe you kind of got that from some of the endings of my poems. So this is one that I wrote just on a whim, and I don't remember why I even got started on it, but it's called Cinderella's Sisters. Our stepsister Cindy, slender, blue-eyed blonde, is the beauty of our family. Compared to her, we felt homely and unattractive, though that was far from true. We had simply reached the age when features seem at odds and grace elusive. We began to torment Cindy, and she sought safety in the kitchen with Lucifer, that sly little cat. Cindy learned to flaunt her looks and exaggerate our flaws even as we mocked her perfection. Over time, our looks settled into simple handsomeness, and we gave up childish ways. Did we forbid Cindy going to the ball? No, she insisted one of us must win the prince. But then she crashed the dance, crushed our hopes, and stole his heart, dropping her crystal shoe as bait for a game of cat and mouse that trapped the trusting prince forever. Anyway, that was just a fun, different approach to them. Okay, and this one, this is called Photo ID. We don't owe you anything, I said, and slapped the letter on the table. Still, curious, I slit the envelope. A card spilled out. Not a bill, a photo ID for Simone, my cat. I had to laugh. Simone glowers at the camera, ears laid halfway back. A criminal cat, if ever I saw one. But where shall we use this card? Simone is a stay-at-home cat and old, born near the end of the last century. She sleeps, she eats, she sleeps some more. At that clinic a year before, barks and yips echoed from room to room, and the vet spoke as though we were all hard of hearing. Simone and I vowed never to return. Still, it's good to know when her shots expire, though Simone may expire before that. I'll let her call that shot. She did go to kitty heaven about 3 months after this. She was old. It was natural. It was old age. And I'm grateful she was part of my life. She was an inspiration in many ways. My teacher as well. Okay. Am I still okay? Time? Okay. Okay. Okay, this one's just a fun one. What kind of music do you like? His question set my mind spinning with scratchy echoes of old 78s. What do I tell him, this sweet man who's young enough to be my son? I was born too late for big bands and too soon for American Bandstand. I'm a California girl who never went surfing but had fun, fun, fun without a T-bird. I rocked with the Big Bopper, roared with Reddy, swooned to the Platters, and swayed to Mathis. I saw Elvis swing his hips and shock the nation, but never screamed for him, even at a concert the year he died. I heard Cal Tjader on tour, saw Nancy Wilson live at Tahoe, can play Take 5 in my head. I witnessed the Fab Four burst onto American soil and into America's heart. I married before Woodstock, didn't participate in the Summer of Love, didn't hear Janis until she was gone. Bobby Darin and Billy Joel can make me smile for different reasons, and Magic Dragons still make me cry. I danced to Buck Owens in that bar before I knew of Johnny, Hank, or Willie. And then that summer with Diamond and Davis in Denver riding shotgun from west coast to east as I made a run for my life. Oh, the times they are a-changin', but I don't think twice about all that rioting in Africa. I'm going to Graceland with Paul. What'd I say, Ray? What kind of music do I like? Do I gotta choose? Okay, one more. And then I'll save one for, I'm supposed to save one for later. The sun is coming back. That's really nice. I struggle from December to the end of January around here, even though I love this place. So this is called Hope in the Dark. Halfway to the pole, December holds Earth captive. Shadows dawn with tilt of global pirouette. Even the new year cannot coax the sun to rise a minute early. Then, near the crest of January, tiny spears of green pierce rain-dark soil. Buds on naked limbs shout hope of spring. I lean back and watch the flood begin. Minutes trickle into day, tumble, faster, faster, racing at the speed of light toward June.